Okay, today we are going to take a look at taking a top-down view of the market when trading. This is especially beneficial if you trade intraday. I quite often trade the 5-minute time frame, and each morning I take a top-down view of the market. It helps me identify strong support and resistance zones and areas to look for potential reversals. As always, if you do like the video and if you are learning how to trade, please do subscribe to Decisive Trading. There are a lot more videos to come. Actually, as of next Wednesday, I'm going to start posting up a video whereby on the Tuesday I have recorded myself taking a top-down view of the market in the morning, and then when the market closes I will record again and show how the market has reacted to those zones, and I'll go over how I traded those zones, and I'll post that up each Wednesday. It will most likely be the FTSE that I do that on because that's the market that I trade most often. Okay, so top-down view of the market. It's always on the daily time frame where I start. I've just picked a couple of popular pairs. So this is the Euro USD. The only thing I have on the charts are pivot points. Most charting software allows you to put this on automatically. I'm on Pro Real Time, and all I do is I just click. There's a little pivot points selection. Just double click that and it calculates it all for me and places them on the chart. So pivot points are, you've got your pivot level, R1, R2 and R3, S1, S2 and S3. And this is just it's a mathematical algorithm which works out support and resistance zones. I don't use these by themselves. What I do is I use them for confluences. What I'm looking for when I'm doing this, as always, is a confluence of factors to help me make my decisions. This is very important. So after I've got my pivot points on the chart, all I'm looking at first of all is the general direction of the market. So you can see the market has been downtrending recently. We've came down, we've made a lower low, lower high, and then we've fallen down again. We've had 1, 2, 3, 3 down days, then we've had a little doji, this will be the weekend, and then we've had another very small down day. What I notice here is this down day hasn't managed to break the low of this candle and stay below it. It's broken the low and then rejected. So this tells me that potentially there is some buying pressure coming in to the market. Then all I'm doing is I'm picking out support and resistance zones near where the market is. There's no point in picking support and resistance zones way up here if you're intraday trading. So I can see one right here already. The reason I've picked this zone is you can see this tail here. It's popped down and rejected, and the market has accelerated off of it. It also lines up over here, and you can see right here as well. Now after I've marked in a zone like this, what I do is I look at the pivot points and I see if any of the pivot points line up with this zone, and you can see right here S1 lines up with it pretty well and it becomes a zone. So that would now be an area where I would look for the market to reverse. And because the market's coming down to this would be support. I'm only going to pick out a couple on each of these markets just to show you how it works. You can see here there's another one. This is a nice zone. You can see it's bounced off of here. It's bounced off of here. You've got these tails over here which are lining up with it. You can also see this tail right here, which was 3 days ago, has pushed up and then rejected off of it. So again, I'm looking for a pivot point that lines up with this. You can see this one here is S2. If you incorporate S2, it incorporates this tail here, and that turns it into a zone. And then all I do, now I trade the 5-minute time frame. So I would drop down to the 5-minute time frame. I'd occasionally look at the 4-hour time frame just to make sure that these zones line up. But because I've marked it off of the tails, it's going to be pretty good. So let's just scroll left and make sure. So you can see here on this one, this just needs to move up the tiniest little bit. So 820 it needs to go up to. So I'll drop down to the 5-minute time frame. So 820 is here. Then all I do is in the morning, I'd come to the chart, I'd mark in my zones like this, You can see this is a strong zone already. This is the zone here, ties in with S1 up above. I've got my other zone right here. And you can see the top of this zone is actually very close to R3, so this becomes an even stronger area for me to look in the market. And then all I'm doing is I'm looking for signals in the market where it's looking to reverse. You can see you've got lots in this zone already. You've had a pin bar here, one here, you've had one here, you've had a strong engulfing bar right there. And look what the market's done. It's bounced up. This is the main way that I trade. It's a great way for identifying strong support and resistance. I'm going to show you another little trick. If it's a market that you don't trade very often, what I will do is I will attach a ATR to the daily time frame, and I'll just drop it down to 5 periods. Make it a little bit smaller here. And what I'll be looking at is, let me just go to the daily time frame. What I'll be looking at is basically the range of the market. So the market is 90 points there. 90 and 114. So we can say between 90 and 100 points is the average move of this market. So now what I'm doing, that gives me an idea of what size of a move I'm looking for, because this is a strong zone, so I'm looking for quite a strong move off of it. So with 90 being the average, I'd probably look for 20, 25, 30 points. And that ties in with the pivot point. It means you can get out before the market touches the pivot point, because bearing in mind, this market exploded through the pivot point, but all you can see when it gets there is this. So all you can see is rejection and rejection. So you can either close some of your position and then let the rest of it run, or you can just close it before the next support and resistance zone. You can see it is a strong zone right here. You've got all these flat tops, and it works out well with the average range of the market. If you enter after even this candle, you're getting 16, 17 points. Okay, let's drop down and look at another one. This is the Australian dollar euro. These are markets that I very rarely trade. My main markets are the FTSE and the Australian dollar, US dollar, that I trade intraday. But I'm just picking a couple of random popular pairs so you can see that it works on all pairs. And what I can see on this market is it looks like it's been downtrending. Let's see if we can get a trend line on this. There you go. So that instantly tells me that the market is in a relatively strong downtrend. I'm not sure if it's in a channel. We'll have a look. It's not too bad of a channel. You can see it's touching here, it's touching here, it's touching here, it's touching here. So now we have a range for the market. And then all I'm doing is the exact same. I'm looking for strong support and resistance zones. This market is in a downtrend. You can see these flat tops here lining up with the trend line. This means for me this morning, I would have been looking to sell the market rather than buy the market. You're just picking out strong support and resistance zones. So the market today opened here. No, sorry, that's the close last night. And what you're doing is you're looking for support and resistance zones around there. Well, you can see these have made a fairly flat top. So I mean, this becomes a zone straight away, right there. You can see that lines up with right there on those wicks. The body's here, the body's here, and it also lines up over here. Now, all you do is you'd come across, you'd see if it lines up. It lines up absolutely perfectly right here with, this is R1. So I'd be looking in this zone for reversals. On the move down, I'd be looking, let's have a look. You've got a strong tail there. It lines up here and here. It doesn't really line up with S3 because it is so far down. But what you can do is you can mark this in, and then as the market progresses each day, these pivot levels will change. And if the pivot level drops down and it becomes close to this zone, then it becomes a strong area to look for reversals. Let's see if there's any more. There's one right here. The reason I'm picking this one is because it's the top of these candles and also the bottom of these candles. It lines up with S3 perfectly. It's touching here. It becomes a strong zone. Now, because this market is in a downtrend, I'd be looking for quite an extended move before I'd buy it. I'd want the market to exhaust itself somewhat before I buy it. So this would be perfect. If it dropped down into here, I'd look to buy it up. I'd drop down to the 5-minute time frame after I'd marked out my zones. It is the 21st today. So you'd just be looking on the 21st. This is the 8 o'clock open right here, UK time. This is usually when I start to trade. The market pops up. What do we get? Straight away, we get some nice reversal candles. I don't know what better signal you could get. You got a pin bar, you got a pin bar, you got an engulfing candle. This is somewhat of a hammer, and then the market falls away. There you go, 15 points. And this is quite interesting. You can see this, the trend line marked in there. You can see the market is already starting to react off of it. Okay, so hopefully that was, oh sorry, that wasn't a trend line. That was, that looked like it was just luck there. Yeah, so let's get rid of that. So the market is in a downtrend, but I'd be looking to sell it. I would have sold it this morning right here. I would have captured this move. Use the ATR to, if you don't trade the market very often, use the ATR. It will give you a rough idea of what type of move you should be looking for. I just set it to the 5 period ATR. I'll look at it on the daily time frame. I actually got told that by another trader, and it actually works very well, so I've started using it. Okay, I hope that was helpful. As I've said, do subscribe to Decisive Trading if you are learning how to trade. And there's a lot more videos to come, and I hope you have a great trading week. I'm James Orr. Thank you.